Tell us a bit about where you are in central London and what the atmosphere is like right now, 20 minutes before this procession gets underway.
Excuse me, monsieur.
Yes, quite extraordinary scenes now beginning because we have the queues that are forming now here on the other side of the Thames. We're opposite Parliament, and I have two ladies with me before that solemn procession sets off at 2:22 p.m. local time precisely, because precisely takes 38 minutes. I have number 2 and number 3 in the probably at least 500,000 people who will queue up to go past the catafalque, that raised platform where Her Majesty's body and coffin will be brought to here in the Palace of Westminster. I have Anne, who is from Wales.
Good afternoon.
Anne, you are number 2 in the queue. Show me your wrists. Okay, tell me what you've got on your wrists.
Well, actually, that's my hodol, my sleeping bag, my umbrella, and the remains of the food. And this one here is my accreditation badge to actually get in, which is number 2 here, some magnetic strip.
So you've been queuing here since Monday, I understand, and
Monday.
last night you had a rather special visit.
Yes, interestingly enough, the Archbishop of York spontaneously walked by. He said, "Good evening, ladies." He came over, he prayed for us, and we sang spontaneously with him one of Her Majesty's favourite hymns, "Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven."
So what does it mean to you to be here today? We've had the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, who came moments ago, who spoke briefly to us, and he said something very special about prayers to you, didn't he?
He did. He said, "Good afternoon, ladies. How nice to see you. We're going to pray for Her Majesty the Queen, and we are going to pray for you, the queue."
Why have you come? You couldn't be assured of being in number 2 position. What did the Queen mean to you, and what are your feelings towards King Charles?
Well, when I was a little girl, from the age of 4 or 5, my dad was in the Irish Guards based at Clarence House with the Queen Mother. He did the coronation of Princess Elizabeth, lining the route, coming back, Queen Elizabeth. My father was in the army, so I have an army childhood background. We were fortunate enough to be invited to the Trooping of the Colour, weddings, funerals. So I know a lot about the army background and the discipline.
And you've come specially from Wales. What did the Queen, what did she mean to you?
Continuity, stamina, steadfastness. She doesn't do emotion. She was a very pragmatic woman, practical. She hides the feelings very well. She did. It's very strange talking in the past tense about the Sovereign, Her Majesty.
Of course, she acceded the throne when she was only 25. This has been a prince in waiting who is now King Charles III. He is 73. He's had a lifetime of learning. How do you think he's been doing over the last few days?
Well, I think by the Queen Consort, Camilla, by his side, she's been a wonderful influence over him. And, I don't know when he speaks fluent Welsh as well, which is wonderful. And he has created a new Prince and Princess of Wales. Well, that'll be an investiture in Carnarvon Castle. So we're all looking forward to that in Wales. I'm not sure if the new, Prince William will be the Prince of Wales, if he speaks Welsh, or Catherine. But Diana spoke some Welsh, so perhaps he'll go on an intensive course.
Now, Grace, you are number 3. You're wearing a Union Jack. Show me your wrists. So what's that one? That is for your place in the queue, is that right?
Yes.
What does it mean to you to be here? I gather that you're going to be allowed in the Palace of Westminster at 3 p.m. There will indeed be a short service that will be conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury. We just saw Justin Welby. What does it mean to you that you're number 3 in the queue, and I gather you're going to be allowed in at 5 p.m. local time? What does that mean to you?
Queen Elizabeth, as you said, has been on the throne when she was 25. And as soon as she took over from her dad was the head of the Commonwealth, and then she also took over as the head of the Commonwealth. She has been working very, very hard to make sure that Commonwealth sticks together. So I came here on Monday to meet Anne. We slept on the pavement. It was only yesterday we were on the floor. That's my first time experiencing those homeless who sleep on the pavement. So yesterday, it started raining. We didn't know where to go. We were under the canopy, but it's wet. So we walked to St. Thomas's hospital.
Yep.
Not to be admitted, but to go and have a refuge and stay there until 3 o'clock. And I came here. I've been here since Monday 4:30, and was here before me.
So what does it mean to you? So the Queen was the head, the monarch, the head of state.
Yeah.
She was the head of the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
She was the head of the Anglican Church.
Yes.
Very important roles. Her dearest wish was that her son, then the Prince of Wales, now King Charles III, be the head of the Commonwealth. And that is indeed, that was voted on.
Exactly.
How do you think, I mean, those are a lot of responsibilities now. He's going to be at the head of the Commonwealth. Of course, some countries will choose to go their separate ways and become republics. What are your feelings on that?
Prince Charles, now King Charles, he also is the same as, I know he's been groomed. He knows he will be the succession to the throne. So he knows how his mom was with the Commonwealth. So I hope he's also going to follow the footsteps of his mom, that we all will back him. He's going to be I won't say he's going to be a king, a good king or bad king. We all have our differences, but we hope he's going to stand for the Commonwealth. Now we were 53. Now Commonwealth is 56 now, and Archbishop of York was telling me, Grace, your president was here, and then he brought him our kente, the Ghana, our traditional kente. I said, yes, I knew all the Commonwealth. But previously...
So will you be here on Monday? Will you be here on Monday, both of you, for the funeral?
I'm afraid, no,
Will you watch it on television?
I may go to Windsor. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
I have happy memories of Windsor.
Anyway, it'll be a very special moment this afternoon when at 5 p.m. you go inside and see that coffin.
Oh.
You will be number 2, number 3 going in there. It will be a very special time. Maybe even King Charles will be there with his siblings as they were in Wales. I wish you a very special moment. You've queued up, you've earned it, and it's been a delight talking to you. Thank you for talking to France 24. Two ladies, thank you. Two ladies here, very representative.
I brought Paddington marmalade.
This lady
it's true.
Yes, so this lady is referring, of course, as the world now is very familiar with that wonderful sketch that we saw back at the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II eating in Buckingham Palace, indeed, an emergency marmalade sandwich with Paddington Bear. You've got one in your bag, have you? Right, well, a true subject of Her Majesty and now of King Charles III. Handing back to you in Paris, this is very much what is happening on the streets of London as people prepare to show their affection, their admiration for the way in which Princess Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth II, Her late Majesty, before she is laid to rest, and that state funeral on Monday the 19th of September, and then taken to St. George's Chapel to lay right by her husband, Prince Philip.
Thank you.
Benedict Cavio and your guests there in central London. Thank you very much indeed. A flavour there of some of the atmosphere opposite the palaces of Westminster.